Vision Sports TV. Welcome back. Now, I made a video about the Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz event. And as an event as a whole, I didn't like the event. I thought the event was a little bit, I didn't really like the matchups. But I didn't really go in depth into the Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz fight in general, in its entirety. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just take this time. I'm going to go ahead and go into the actual fight. If you haven't seen the video on the actual event, you can go back and watch that, but I'm actually talking about the fight. Now, I do have Teofimo Lopez winning this fight. I did believe that Teofimo did enough to retain his championship. Now, I did believe that Jamaine Ortiz did enough to win the championship as well, or to win the decision as well, technically win the decision. But in the sport of boxing, and when you get to this level of boxing in the professional rankings, you have to dominate the champion in order to win the championship belt. You cannot go in there as a challenger and just survive and eke out a decision. It's just not going to work like that. You know, it's the same thing that happened to Shakur Stevenson when Shakur fought De Los Santos, and De Los Santos was just complaining in the middle of the ring most of the fight. Complaining, hey guys, he won't fight. He's running. It's like, bro, you can't complain. You know, if you want the belt, you got to go get the belt. You can't sit around and complain. He definitely was utilizing the ring. You know, he was running around the ring a lot. But Teofimo, it's up to you to be able to go and hunt him down and use your footwork to corner him and to get him out of there. You know, boxing is a game of hit and don't get hit. If that's the game of boxing, Jamaine Ortiz did a great job. It's up to you, Teofimo. You're supposed to be the action. You're supposed to be the great. You're supposed to be the great Teofimo Lopez. You're supposed to be, you came out in the hat, cat in the hat. Should have pulled out a trick out the hat and been able to stop Ortiz from running around the ring like that. Now, there's been some great guys. I thought Canelo did a good job of cutting the ring off when Lara was running around the ring like that. Lara fought just the same way, the exact same way. And I thought that Canelo did a pretty good job of just staying on course, keeping him in front of him. When he did get close to him, he would hit him with them body shots. And Canelo didn't really rush it. And it seemed like to me, Teofimo Lopez was kind of rushing it. You know, he was kind of like, he wanted to put on a big show. He wanted this to be his big introduction into the I get to pick my own fight stage. That Crawford is at. He wanted this to be his big coming out moment for him to be able to start being a star and picking out his fights and stuff like that. But the fight was boring. And you can't have a boring fight and be of the face of, you can't have a boring fight and have a loss on your record. That just doesn't mix. And that's the reason why I said in my video, the one, if you haven't seen that video, Matias in the 140-pound division, I basically said that I was upset with Teofimo Lopez because he lost to Kambosos, and that one stained his record. That loss stained his record, not because he had a loss, but because it was to Kambosos. But now I'm going to say that loss, forget who it was against. That loss still is going to be a blemish, because now, Teofimo, you cannot have a loss on your record and have a boring performance, because that's going to drive fans away. See, the only way that you can have have back-to-back boring performances or have boring performances and still be the face of boxing is if you're undefeated. If you're undefeated, you can have boring fights because people are still going to want to see you win or they're going to want to see you lose. If you got losses on your record and you having boring fights, nobody's going to want to see you because, number one, there's no record to uphold. That's number one. And number two, you're boring. So what reason do I have to watch you? You're not exciting in the ring and you got losses. Why am I coming to see you? So, if you're gonna be boring in the ring, you gotta at least be undefeated. And Teo is not a boring performer. He's a very exciting performer, but Ortiz, you cannot go into the ring like that and expect to win the championship just surviving like that. You running around the ring, you're fighting safe. That's not gonna win the championship. You should know this more than anybody else, Ortiz. You've been in this business for long enough to know that when you're going against a champion, you have to take the belt. You cannot go in there and run around for 12 rounds and expect to beat the champion. It's just, you can't do that. You have to go in there and you have to take that belt. You have to knock the champion out, or you have to decisively, definitively beat the dude. If you don't do that, you're not going to win the fight. Plain and simple. And I felt that Teofimo did enough. Teofimo was able to get catch up to Ortiz a few times and hit him on the button. He was able to catch up to him a couple times and hit him flush. So I thought that was good from Teofimo from round to round. Also, I thought that Ortiz got the better of most of the exchanges, but I thought that Teofimo, as the champion, did enough to retain the belt. I did think he did when he did go after Ortiz, he did hit him clean a few times. And he was pushing the fight. He was pushing the fight. Ortiz, he was backing up most of the fight. When he did engage, he did get the best of Teofimo when they did engage. When Teofimo was able to go in there, but it was a few times Teofimo was able to go in there and hit, just like right there, was able to hit Ortiz cleanly. And I thought he did that enough times in order to win the fight. If Ortiz would have fought that same style, but he would throw more punches, he would have won the fight fair, like clear. But because he wasn't active enough, I just can't give that fight to Ortiz. I can't do it. Even though I thought he did enough to win the fight, if I was a judge, I'm still giving it to Teofimo because I thought Teofimo still did enough to retain his belt. But Vision Sports TV, go back and watch the Matias video I did on the 140-pound division. Go back and watch the event. Go back and watch the event review I did on this event. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back at you. Peace.